working against this. I can tell you there probably is one. You know, you guys are all educated. You can follow the money, and there's a lot of money, not just poured into Washington, D.C. You can go to the Secretary of State's website. There's millions and millions and millions of dollars spent with these lobbying firms to try to influence these 4 guys and 48 others on the Senate side and 122 in the House. And look, I'll be honest, and I said this to the Lieutenant Governor my first year there ain't a single person at that Capitol voted for me. So I don't listen to their staff in terms of you need to vote this way or you need to vote this way. I wasn't elected to do what they want me to do. I was elected by my constituents. So that's who I answer to, and that's who I have to answer for. So in terms of lobbyists, I certainly don't work for them. You know, so we can regulate it. But that's a great question. Thank you for that. I'm sorry if I'm not sure what HARRP is.
Who put that? Who put that?
HARP? I'm not familiar with that. Is that a geoengineering chemtrail?
Well, it's not just Alaska anymore. There's one in Puerto Rico. There's one through NATO in Switzerland. There's several of them, and they're all triangulating the signal to the ionosphere and then back down.
Well, see, in all sincerity, when I would have heard that 2 years ago, I would have thought, wow, that's almost unbelievable.
Well, if you want to read up on HARP, Senator.
Yeah, no. Look,
Jesse Ventura, back in 1990, had a program, Conspiracy Theory, on Truth TV. Season 1, Episode 1. You can look it up. And he does all about the HARP project, and he shows you about the weather control and about the seeding of the clouds through an experiment with an Alaskan senator up there.
Okay. Well, you know, I believe anything is possible at this point when I found out what was going on with the geoengineering. So I will watch that. Thank you. Who do we need to talk to help get this bill through? I would contact your local senator, whoever that may be. And it may be this young man sitting right here in front of me. He represents the good people of Rankin County and Smith County. I'm sorry. Well, he's for it. I think we have a lot of momentum on it. There's certainly a lot of social media traffic. And, you know, I don't know a better way to get something heard than social media these days. So I think I've got one more question before I turn it over to Mr. Tapia. What can we do to help you garner support in the Senate and from Delbert? You know, surprisingly, and Senator Rhodes could probably me, but generally bills don't come out on the floor unless the Lieutenant Governor gives his blessing. So I was not part of their conversation, but I suspect that the Lieutenant Governor gave his blessing or was supportive of this bill. I can't speak for him certainly, but the fact that it made it onto our calendar kind of lends itself to that, in my opinion. But again, I don't know that he supports it or doesn't support it. But we're not trying to gain support of it. That's the most important thing. Does anybody have any questions that I can answer before I turn it over? Yes, sir.
I didn't get a chance to fill out a card.
Yes, no,
I'm sorry. What about our agencies? MDEQ, is Chris Wells involved? And I mean, they
yes,
cover
sir.
the air.
Yes, sir. So I ran into this Mr. Wells last night, and he was actually at an event for the supervisors. And you know, the Department of Environmental, I don't know that they want to be involved in this. I can't quote him or speak for him. He's a governmental agency and somewhat of an executive function. If the legislature passes this, he will have to do what the bill says. So there was talks about maybe this going into the Department of Agriculture, because I know obviously as it stands, Commissioner Gibson is there. The bill, if it is able to be voted on, there's also, every senator has the right in there to make a motion to amend the bill. And one bill can start off as X, and by the time it's done, it may be a shell of itself, and it may be something we don't want passed. So it's certainly, it's kind of a living organism, kind of like the Constitution, that just changes until something you may not even want. But, yeah, so, like I said, I am learning. I will continue to learn. I will continue to fight for you. Yes, sir, you got a question?
What's the time frame on this coming up for a vote?
Yes, sir. It has to be all Senate bills that originated in the Senate that are not appropriation or financial bills have to be off of our calendar before next Thursday. So, tomorrow with the storm that came in, the Lieutenant Governor sent everybody, a lot of people like Senator McCon from McMahon from up north. I'm sure he's got constituents that may be out of power. Lieutenant Governor sent everybody home today at 4:30. We will not be in session tomorrow. We will reconvene Monday at 2 p.m. We'll be there all day Tuesday, all day Wednesday, and all day Thursday. We certainly have the time to handle the bill. We just got to make sure we've got the votes. Any other questions? Look, if Mr. Tapia, he gave my email. I check it pretty much every 3 to 4 hours, and I always respond. It's jbarrett@senate.ms.gov. I would love for you to, if you're maybe shy, don't want to ask a question, or think your question maybe is, is not pertinent, or maybe you think it's a dumb question, please. I'm learning on this, and I think it's important that we get out as much information as we can. I think it's important that I know, or these senators know, your thoughts, because there's not a crazy thought. I'm telling you, I thought when I first heard about this, I was like, there's no way this is going on. But we live in a government, a federal government now, that it's kind of seems so, everything is so secretive, and you hear about these files, and this file, and this file. I mean, wow, it's eye-opening, and certainly been eye-opening for me, and I hope to stay in contact, communication with you. So if you've got any information, please let me know, and I'll do anything I can to help you. I'll wrap it up with that. Thank you guys for having us. You've got a beautiful church. Preacher, thank you for opening the doors. Miss Mary Jo, thank you for the invitation. And I will turn it over. Mr. Tapia, I need to turn it straight over to the man himself, the flag man, Senator Don Harkin.
Senator McMahon on his back, I'm sure. All right. Well, first I need to thank, there's a couple of people here that have known me since I had black hair, so that's been fun. Gail Ann Charlie, where are you, Gail? Gail has been with me since 2011, maybe 2012, out on the corner collecting money for soldiers, and also she and my wife and Dusty Bird, who's no longer with us, built the Gold Star Family Memorial Wall at Camp Shelby. It's $41,000 for the wall. It took us 2 years to raise the last $8,000 to get it finished. But yes, I am known here in Rankin County. When I left in 2019, so if you haven't seen me in a while, I've been in Jones County. Ta-da! But anyway, it's been a brand new experience. I've been on your side. In fact, I had Mary Jo in our team in probably 2010, 2011. he first kicked off MPVR. A lot of you started with the Tea Party. I'm probably maybe the only one in here that actually marched up Pennsylvania Avenue twice, 2009, 2010. So I went to DC and actually walked up the boulevard. Just like you guys, I'm not an intelligent guy. I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. But the one thing I do have is passion and common sense. You know, you can lie to me one time and you're done. So when I tell these guys I'm going to vote for something, you've got my word on it. I don't play the politics. You know, my wife used to say when we go out and knock on the door, he's going out politicking. No, politics is a game. Having a conversation is a real thing. Doing what you say you're going to do is a real thing. You know, when I knocked on doors, I listened, and then things that come up that ordinary people talk about is their taxes. My property taxes, everybody's paying them this month, I'm sure, February 1st you do. We've got 55,000 people in the state of Mississippi that are widows and widowers. I just put a bill in, may not make it. But I promised some folks that I'd help them on their property taxes. 55,000 times, it averages 1,000. You talking about $50 million or $500 million? I'm sorry, 500. We just spent that much on teachers, or actually on PERS, and we're going to spend 500 million and 50 million every year to take a cup, put holes in it, and fill it with water. We'll never catch up. And it made me so sick to my stomach. I went to my I live in a trailer park. I'm trailer trash now, Fairbanks. But you put holes in a cup and you fill water in it, and it leaks out and it never fills up. And you wonder why it never fills up because the holes are in it. You can't fill the holes up. But anyway, the bill that was dear to my heart, because you all have seen it happen. You've seen elections stolen. You've seen crossover votes, and that always infuriated me because I worked for a gentleman that was in the Senate that's no longer there, and I took his place after 2 years being replaced by a young lady that went through that. I saw what happened in precincts. I've seen evil done in elections. So these guys probably heard some questions today that I asked, because I've actually witnessed it firsthand with my own eyeballs. It's a shame that we do things like that, especially to a fellow conservative. You can feel how you want with him, or you hate him, or love him, it doesn't matter. But what happened to him was absolutely horrendous. He helped start the Tea Party, along with Phil Bryant back in the day. So I'm like that, the old shoes and the old pair of jeans that fit you good. I'm not brand new, but I've been around a while. So a lot of these stories at the Capitol I've seen and I've witnessed. The day the state flag vote was taken, I didn't know that I had a picture by a fellow senator that showed me the other day. Showed me walking around the Capitol with the state flag. I was the only one, out of all the people that were mad about the state flag, I was the only one that was there that Saturday walking around with a flag. And in fact, when I was walking under the breezeway, our lieutenant governor was getting out of his vehicle, and I passed right by him before he walked in the door. The last time he saw that state flag flying anywhere was the one I was walking around with. If you believe in something and have passion, just like whether it's chemtrails, it doesn't matter, MPVR, it doesn't matter what you got. As you go out there in your little world, you make a difference. It doesn't matter what subject matter it is or what's matters to you. You go out there, talk to people, convince them, and come to your side. We do have some Christian conservatives up there in the Senate. We're all learning each other. I'm brand new. I'm still the guy with the beanie cap and a little propeller on top of it. I'm still drinking out of that fire hose, as they say on the Senate floor. And I tell you, it comes at you from all sides. Don't let anybody tell you. I have seen the bills, and y'all have seen them too. There's bills that have 1,500, 2,000 pages. I don't know anybody that can read that in a day's time and read the 2,000 other bills that are sitting out there. Your input makes a difference. When you read a bill and you go in there and you do your thing, there's apps for it. You can read the bills. You can do a ton of research for guys like us, because I can't read everything. We have, and these guys will vouch for it, we've got binders that thick, and there's like at least 3 or 4 of them full of bills. Full of them. So when anybody tells you they have read every one of them, they ain't no way. I could spend a week and not go to the Senate floor and still not finish the bills. That's the truth. So I'm a realist. I'm not anybody. I'm just a common. I am the face Reynolds County was sold there except my in-laws. And I convinced 70% of the population to vote for me. That was a lot of work. So I'm humble and I'm appreciative of what little time I have. I've got 2 years guaranteed. It's going to be the best 2 years of my life. If you want to grant me another 4, that's up to you guys. But anyway, on this party primaries things that I've witnessed, that what I want to do is you've got a Democratic primary and a Republican primary, and you don't want people to cross over. Reason being, I don't want Democrats voting for me, and I know they don't want Republicans voting for them. Now, what do you do with the independents and the conservatives or whatever party that wants to go in there? In fact, you have to be invited by either Republicans or Democrat to enter into the primary, so you have to ask. If the Republican Party wants the conservatives, wants the libertarians, they can do that. But it helps in that you don't have another party electing your person. And that used to make, when I witnessed that firsthand, when I saw Democrats, whether they were paid or not, I don't know. I heard about the money in Meridian and the whole bit just like everybody else did. That just infuriated me. We've got to get control of our elections. If we don't get control of our elections, we don't have a country anymore. If each side has the ability to cheat, then that's not what our founding fathers, they designed. This is a republic, not a democracy. And every time I hear the word democracy, it just infuriates me. A democracy is mob rule. A republic is representative. A democracy steals your bicycle. A republic protects it. So I'm sure you guys are in some sort of, now the bill is dead. It is 93. But I do have another bill. And the thing about it is when you guys are activists, I can't tell you, I guarantee every one of these guys in here check their social media accounts. I guarantee you. I do, especially when the bill is hot. HB2, man, I heard from, maybe a half a dozen teachers, but when they email the same ones, it's not different ones. So when you call when you get 65 to 70 now, all the emails are getting from the same people. But it sounds like, because they're all together, it sounds like you got a majority out there of school teachers supporting HB2, and it's not the truth. I saw a poll by a former senator, and it was close to 70% approval in who responded to HB2. There's a lot of misinformation out there. Everybody's afraid that somebody's going to flood into the school systems, going to West Rankin, whatever. They're coming from Hines County, they're coming out here, they're going to ruin the schools. The furthest thing from the truth. We even heard it on the Senate floor. If you don't read the bill, know something about the bill, at least get educated, at least know the bullet points of it. But anyway, on that bill, of course, it's dead. Now, I do have the property tax bill that I hope that will get some attention, because I did promise, and I know you guys have elderly parents, and you got widows and widows. I know you know it. There are one income couple, whether it's a husband or wife, by themselves. They're on Social Security, they're on a fixed income, and they have a hard time making that $1,500, $2,000. The bigger the house, the bigger the bill. And I know they struggle. Well, gosh dog it, we can give money to everybody else in this daggone country. We can give them to Somalis and everything else, but we can't give it to our elderly. That's a shame. What does it biblically say about orphans and widows and widowers in the Bible? It says to take care of them, doesn't it? It says to take care of them. We're taking care of everybody else who can work. These people work all their lives. I think at the age of 65, you shouldn't pay any more taxes. Do I hear an amen?
Yeah.
All right. 6 foot down, you're still paying taxes. I've had enough. I don't know about y'all. The Tea Party, that's what it stood for. Taxed enough already. But anyway, I could go on about that, but what I was supposed to talk about tonight was the crossover. I don't like the crossover votes. I think there was one or two more bills that are on this. I don't know if they're dead or not. I got the numbers out there, but I haven't looked them up to see if they're dead. But I hope it makes it some point in time. The only way we're going to change voting in this state with the crossover vote is to close the primaries. And I I think most of y'all, at least in the Tea Party, we agreed to that, because we saw too much corruption between both parties. It's not just the Democrats doing it. Republicans, if they want their guy in there, they have a way to get votes in there. I'm just ashamed to see what I saw several years ago with the Thad Cochran race and several other races. It really saddens me that we did this as a state to a fellow Republican. What is a Republican platform? Does anybody know what the Republican platform is? It's kind of gray, isn't it? We got some that vote both ways on the floor. They're sometimes conservative, and on this side they're liberal. We don't have a party platform anymore. It's all gray area. Michael Hurst tried to do that. I think he's trying to get at least a party platform. But the biggest thing I noticed being in the Senate, like I said, I'm a street guy, the level of respect for each other. It's one thing that I've seen that, I've sat in the balcony and I've petitioned, I've done everything that you guys have done. But the thing that really impressed me was the level of respect on the Senate floor. Whether you're Democrat or Republican, you can debate on the floor, scream, yell, sit down, and still at least have a friendship or at least talk to somebody. But what was said earlier is what you've got. The lieutenant governor weighs a lot of power in this state. It's his legislation, basically, is what it is. It's his legislation, whatever he wants. And y'all have seen it. So I'm hoping in the next 2 years we find somebody that will lead these conservatives into the true bills that we need in this state. Because I think there's some Republicans that are lost in the House and the Senate because they don't have the leadership that they need. DC is the same way. I've seen Mr. Eller for years. It's not the first time this man's run. I've seen his platform. I've seen him out there working. He's one of the true good guys out there that he's still trying, still knocking on doors to convince people. And I know he's up against the wall in the district he's in. They basically made that district. Do you know ask you a question, do you know how many in the redistricting, how many Republicans were voted in the redistricting? How many? One Republican, you look at him. We just inherited 4, maybe 5 Democrats out of redistricting. So we went from a super majority to a majority. So it makes it difficult because when you have some bills, we had today, the first time I've ever seen this, we had a tie in the Senate, 26 to 26, and guess what kind of bill it was? You wouldn't believe it. Immigration, illegal immigration. Should that be a tie? No. It was a tie, and guess who broke the tie? Our Lieutenant Governor. He's the reason that bill was defeated, was because he voted 26 to 26 on an immigration bill. That should be a slam dunk. And it's a shame. Now, the Republicans stood up and did the right thing. Democrats, just like you were talking about earlier, illegal immigration, abortion, are all on the opposite side. I heard 2 ladies, and I'll close this out. I heard 2 ladies this morning. I was in Walmart. Two black ladies this morning talking about abortion like you're talking about taking a Band-Aid off your arm. You talking about shock and awe? They talk about like it's normal, everyday medical procedure. So that's why I have a hard time sleeping at night. When you spend, $500 million, you hear this kind of speech. At the age of 65, I thought I've seen it all, but every day I get a surprise. But I thank Mary Jo for taking up conservative cause. Conservative Coalition started a few years after the Tea Party kind of waned down. I appreciate her taking the gauntlet and the fire to do this, to get everybody together across the state. It needs to grow. We need our conservative Republicans to start showing up and talking to people. And everybody wants to feel like they're part of the system. I had when we have people up there at the Capitol, we've got young people that come up, and they almost treat you like a king. It's, guys, chill out. I'm still human. Just because I got Senator in front of my name doesn't mean that I'm any kind of special guy. I'm just a guy. Talk to me about anything you want to talk about. So social media is the key. So when I come out with this bill, this property tax bill, you guys can carry it. Anybody
Anybody in here got a widower that you know that's in your family, they're by themselves now? What would it mean for them to take home more money in February instead of spending $1,500, $2,000? What could they do with that money? We're going to take care of illegals in their health care, but we can't take care of our elderly at home. So when they can't make that tax bill, guess what happens? They call their son and daughter and say, hey, I need to move in with you. I don't have any more money. I'm out. So what do? As kids, you probably help pay for it to keep them in the house. Those are the, what gets me is the millions and millions of dollars we spend in this country, and we can't take care of our home. We can't take care of the military. We can't take care of our own. What are we supposed to do as a society? Aren't those the people we're supposed to be taking care of? We're talking about opening Somali daycare and having $9 billion. Does anybody go to jail? If you or I were to open a daycare and bribe the government out of $9 billion, we'd probably be locked up. Why are they special? Why are they still walking around the streets? They got Al Capone not on killing people, they got him on tax evasion. We can't take people out because they don't pay their taxes. If I don't pay my taxes, I make the news and they take what I got. But anyway, you guys carry a lot of weight. Please, when these bills come out, whether it's chemtrails, property tax, but you guys got to carry the load. You guys can convince a lot more people than I can by myself. You guys warriors. Warriors fight. Right? Warriors never give up. You keep knocking on doors, you keep convincing people. Did y'all have any questions? I'm done.
How you what?
How do you close the primary?
Well, with the bill, we would have closed it.
Right, but technically explain to people what that looks like. So you have to, people have to register as a Republican.
You have to register as a Republican or as a Democrat. And you can only vote in the general election if you're an independent or conservative. So you have to register. Right. Now you can, even if you're even if you identify as a conservative or a libertarian, which party is more close to your ideals? I would assume it'd be Republican, but I may be wrong. Or they can register as a Democrat. At least they've got to commit that and vote for the person close to their ideals.
So in Louisiana, if you're a registered independent, you can vote either, right?
I'm not sure about Louisiana. I know they have what they call a jungle primary.
Yeah.
We got Democrats and Republicans on one deal. So I don't know if I'm for that, but the register is either one or the other.
That's how in Jersey, when you register to vote, you register Democrat, Republican, or Independent, or anything else. And if you want to vote in the primary, then you have to declare yourself at the polls, and then they change your registration right then and there to a party.
It's similar. You have to declare a Republican or Democrat for a closed primary. The reasons I want to do it, of course, is that there's no cheating behind the scenes by either party to get the other side to show up to vote for a candidate. That's wrong. To me, that's wrong. Because that's not their ideals. My ideals is not the ideals of the Democrat. You would never see me vote for Democrat primary. They all said to do that to Hillary Clinton. I could not do it. I could not pull the lever. Any questions? Maybe it's not.
I got a comment, actually. It doesn't matter what you want, the three of the senators want, what we want, what Osmond wants. You just said it right there about immigration. Who is for illegal immigration? Nobody I know, nobody I talk to. But Osmond decided that he doesn't want to stop illegal immigration, so he took it upon himself to kill the bill. So no matter what anybody here wants, Osmond's gonna do what Osmond. Same thing with Gary, same thing with the voter bill, the closed primary, no matter what you come up with, Osmond's either gonna say no, or Osmond's gonna send it to a committee that's gonna let it die in committee. And the only way I don't care what you do, but they are not Republicans, and I'm tired of these Republicans claiming to be Republican and saying, I got a hard by my name, so vote for me. And they'll build a little redneck, like, okay, he's Republican, I'm voting for him. We need to start looking at the people.
These guys are saying sometimes the bill at the very end will have something in it that we didn't know about or see originally. You'll find at the end, you know, a 1,000-page bill, somebody's buried something in there. You know, sometimes that gets.
That's still y'all's responsibility. Y'all took the job. Y'all ran for the office, took the job. And that's something y'all and your staff needs to follow up on. We can't do it. We're too busy. Some people trying to make a living. I'm just trying to be comfortable retired from. You know, that's all I'm gonna do. I can't. I'm concerned about my children. I'm concerned about my grandchildren. I made it through. I'm done. I won. Because I'm gonna be dead within 10 years. Just the way life is. I still got grandchildren. And when they live with that children, we got to take care of them. And about allowing this border to collapse like it's happening, what are we supposed to do? And I don't know.
I totally agree with you. I'm as frustrated as you are about it.
Don, was it that bill that we had to break the law, or was it this bill?
What's that?
Was it the immigration bill or the seatbelt bill that y'all were going to break the time?
The immigration bill was the one that we had time. We looked at the immigration bill, which one?
Senator, it wasn't Senator. You see, I mean, it was a city, it was legal.
It was what?
Raising the fine.
Oh, was that 26? My bad. That's why these guys are here.
Don.
Husband voted with us not to raise the fine. He voted with the conservatives.
Oh, okay. All right, my bad.
Don.
I'm sorry.
I know you know, and a couple other people do. One of the best things, you gotta out them on social media. My Facebook, I remind everybody daily that Delbert was a Democrat way before he was a Republican. And when he votes the wrong way, I remind people daily. I don't care if it's Wicker. I just slammed Wicker the other day. He's talking about keeping ice out of Byhalia. He needs to go. You just got to keep reminding people. And I don't care who takes offense. I don't care. It's my Facebook page. It's out there. I put it out there. And that's what you got to do. You just got to keep reminding people every day what's going on. What's that?
I had to get on social media first.
Right. But, you know, if you're following like Don on there, or, I mean, they're putting the information out there. You know, it's surprising. I mean, even Gene Newman, and I don't always agree with Gene in the House, but Gene Newman, every week he gives a recap. That people put it out there. You just got, you know, look, it's there.
We appreciate you.
I'll add a question real quick.
I just wanted to say that I made a post about Delbert Hoseman and what was happening in Mississippi. And it wasn't like it was shared about.
There you go.
I hate elections have consequences, and the lieutenant governor drives our agenda, so where it is.
We didn't hear the question back.
I can't hear you.
Can you repeat what she asked? We can't hear the question
Oh,
back.
you didn't hear the question?
It was a statement, it wasn't a question. Oh, okay. It was, she
Delbert Hoseman and it was shared over 1,000 times, she said. It was shared over 1,000 times.
So I understand that people are so unhappy about her husband.
Maybe that closed primaries thing he was talking about. Maybe that closed primaries thing he's talking about. That's why.
Guys, we got 2 years, we need to get somebody in. there.
Haley Barbour. Haley Barbour decides what happens in the state.
But the average everyday person, they recognize Delbert Hoseman.
How do we go about finding these things? We're not on social media. How do we go about finding these things so that we can share? And where
You gotta go talk to people
from the conservative that we trust?
in real life.
What do we do? Do we need to be calling our people in there at a certain time when a vote's coming up? Does that make any difference?
We sent out
are saying, and I agree. That's why we're here. That's the whole reason this was started. And so what I will ask you is, next month we have our meeting, please bring a friend to me. And while y'all over here in the beginning, when we were coming off COVID, everyone was mad. And this place was packed, wall to wall, everyone was mad. And now everyone's coming on with life. And the word is active. It's apathetic. Everyone, you know, and it's kind of like the two boys that sat back in the classroom. The teacher said today we're going to, in vocabulary, we're going to learn about the word active. And he looked at the boy next to him, he said, what's active? He said, I don't know, I don't care. That's what we being apathetic. And we get, and I get what you said. I don't want to have to worry about politics. I want to shepherd this church. I want to pastor people. I got 5 kids, 11 grandkids. I shouldn't have to worry about politics. But the problem is, we've not worried about it for so long, and that's why we got the crap that we're in, and this is the only way to put it, because we let politicians do what they wanted to do. And that's why this body was formed, and it's we do focus on the national elections, but we really want to focus on the local. From the dog catcher on up, this is where we make the difference. This is where we can change things. Because if there's one thing that we've learned, and Mr. Politician's got here tonight, I appreciate y'all, is the only thing they're going to listen to is that phone rings. When the switchboard gets clogged up, when people get involved. That's when we started this thing. I'll be honest with you, I folks didn't pay attention to this. They kind of laughed at us. Well, all of a sudden, we started getting these big crowds, and we had people calling Mary Jo, and how come you didn't ask me to come speak? How come you didn't ask me to speak? And they want to know what we were thinking. And so we need this room filled, and I know there's concerned citizens out here. I know there is. So we're going to keep pushing it. I'm going to ask you to keep pushing it. Stay involved, because you're right. I work on my kids and my grandkids. I want to leave them a lot better Mississippi than what we've done up to this point. And so that's all I want to say is I hear what you're saying, and I thank you for being here. But we got to get more folks here. Because the more folks we get here, you know, that was the one thing we said after COVID was everyone said, what do we do? And what we said was, you know what? Me alone, I'm one voice. But when we're all here in this room as one voice, it makes a big difference. And the people down at the Capitol will stand up and pay attention.